International School. And Westfield meet today on It's Academic. Hello, everybody, and welcome to It's Academic, the world's longest-running TV quiz show, now in its 65th season, produced by Altman Productions and the great WETA.
Support for It's Academic has been provided by the following: George Mason University, all together different.
Call us different.
Different in where we come from,
Where we're going,
and how we think.
but the same in our dreams for tomorrow.
Driven by the pull of possibility.
To inspire,
To think fearlessly. To protect and to heal the planet. We know the world will change.
together.
We will be the ones to change it.
Call Mason different. All
Together different.
Hey, everybody, so glad that you've joined us for another edition of It's Academic. Glad to know you're there. We begin, as we always do, teams with fast start. Questions are worth 10 points up or down. First team to buzz in gets to answer. And you at home, these students don't see what you do on the screens. Here we go. Double D. Usually our students want to avoid getting a D, but today your answers will be words with two Ds side by side. This flying game is popular at Hogwarts. Yes, Westfield.
Quidditch.
Quidditch it is. This type of integer is never evenly divisible. Herndon.
Odd.
Odd is right. This American scientist was known as the father of rocketry. Anybody? Robert Goddard. According to myth, the Sphinx asked this kind of question to Herndon.
Riddle.
Yeah. This is the second largest city in Saudi Arabia. Yup, Westfield. Answer? And with
Riyadh.
No, Jeddah. This ceremonial word describing the joining of the Union and Central Pacific Railroads in 1869. What is that word? It is wedding. This was the maiden name of Abraham Lincoln's Westfield.
Todd.
You've got it. This is a colloquial term for a violin. Yes, Washington.
Fiddle.
Yeah. This young sailor titles a novel by Herman Melville. Yup, Westfield. Answer. 3, 2, 1. It's Bud, Billy Budd. This toy bear was named for Theodore Herndon.
Teddy.
Teddy it is, and that's our fast start round, everybody. Let's take a look at the scores. Herndon, 130 points. Washington International School, 110 points. Westfield, 100 points. All right, let's meet these students, and we begin with Herndon from Herndon, Virginia, in Fairfax County. How you doing, Abdul?
Doing good. You?
I'm very well, thank you so much, but I'm more interested in you and what you're up to.
I do robotics at my school, and I'm the software captain. So I go around and I teach like all the new members how to do, coding for the robots.
Wow, that's really cool. It's good to have you. Hey, Peter.
Hello.
So, what should we know about you?
I like to go on trips, and I like to plan them as well.
What are you planning now?
An Alaskan cruise for next
Ooh,
summer.
Very nice. And Matthew, how about you?
I'm also on the robotics team. I'm a little bit above Abdul, though. I'm the DC captain, so I get to boss him around a bit.
But you don't swim in modesty.
Not entirely.
All right, guys, here we go. Questions worth 20 points, nothing off for a wrong answer. Having ill side effect. Here you'll have no ill effects if you find in this phrase the name of what breathing structure found in fish.
Gills?
Yes. Zandor Vorkov, Bela Lugosi. These actors each appeared in old movies as what vampire created by Bram Stoker?
Dracula?
Yeah. Here you see the name of an Asian peninsula, but by filling in the blanks, you can name what highest Asian mountain range.
Himalayas?
That's right. Knits up. If this phrase causes you to knit your brow, you can rearrange the letters to name what first man-made satellite launched in 1957.
Sputnik?
Correct. Cape Cod, Cape Disappointment, Cape Hatteras. Which of these three capes is near the Pacific and was reached by the Lewis and Clark expedition in 1805?
Cape Disappointment?
You are right again. No one needs help to get into trouble. Boy, I know that. This is an old saying of the Maoris, the indigenous people of what Pacific nation whose capital is Wellington?
New Zealand.
New Zealand is right. Nicely done, Herndon. 250 points. To the Washington International School here in Washington, D.C. Eileen, tell us something about yourself.
I play the violin. I've been playing for 13 years.
Wow, favorite type of music to play?
Probably like early 20th century Russian and French composers.
Oh my
for
gosh, that's
chamber music.
wonderful. Nice. Good to have you. Hiya, Julia.
Hi, I like to run and I do cross country.
And what do you get from running?
I think it just brings me peace of mind.
Oh, that's good. That's wonderful. Good to have you. And finally, Kieran, hello.
Hi, I'm Kieran. I'm a senior at WIS, and in my free time, I like to draw.
What do you like to draw?
Just like sketch trees and buildings around me.
All right, guys, here we go. Hope someone comes. I hope you can find in this phrase what coin that's the basic unit of currency in Mexico.
Peso?
Yes. Why? Why not? There's actually a town called Y in Arizona and a town named Why Not in what southern state whose capital is Jackson?
Mississippi.
Correct. If you fill in the blanks here, you can identify the first president of Texas whose name was given to what most populated Texas city?
Houston?
Yeah, Houston's it. Math mom. Your mom may be a math expert, but please rearrange these letters to name what extinct woolly animal, a forerunner of the modern elephant.
Mammoth?
Mammoth it is. Semper paratus, cave canem, caveat emptor. Which of these Latin phrases means always prepared and is the motto of the U.S. Coast Guard?
Third one?
No, the first one, semper paratus. If you look up, there are no limits. This proverb comes from what Asian country where major cities include Kyoto and Yokohama?
Japan.
Yeah, that's it. Washington International School, good job, 210 points. Now to Westfield from Chantilly, Virginia in Fairfax County. Hiya, Zach.
Hi, how are you?
I am very well, thank you. What should we know about you?
I'm on the cross country and track team.
How long you been doing that?
4 years.
All right, good to see you. Hiya, Ellie.
Hey.
Hey, so what should we know about you?
I am training for a half marathon and I still collect candles.
You still collect candles.
Yes.
That's wonderful. How many do you have now?
Too many.
Too many. Well, it's good to see you. And Justin, hello.
Hello. I'm going to Germany and the Czech Republic in a couple months.
Oh, that's wonderful. That'll be really fun. What are you looking to most? Looking forward
Probably
to?
the history of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we might have some history in here.
Hopefully.
Alamo sesame buns. The Alamo wasn't noted for sesame buns, but hidden in this phrase is the name of what biblical leader who led the Israelites from Egypt?
Moses.
Yeah. Polyphemus, Argus. These figures from Greek mythology each had an unusual number of what sensory organs? Polyphemus had one, Argus had many.
Eyes.
Yeah. The word age appears in the name of what Portuguese sea captain whose expedition was first to circle the earth?
Magellan.
It is Magellan. Prison seed. Rearrange these letters and you'll name what great economic calamity that hit the nation in the 1930s.
Depression.
Yes. Due process, elastic clause, pork barrel. Which of these phrases is used to describe the implied powers given Congress by Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution?
Elastic.
Yes, it is. With money, you can eat ice cream in hell. This cynical proverb comes from what Middle East country whose capital is Beirut?
Lebanon.
Yeah, it is. Nice job, Westfield. 220 points. That does it for Mix and Match. Stay where you are because we have some pictures coming up next in the Picture Perfect round. See you in a minute.
In 1961, 9 high school students walked into a TV studio in Washington, D.C. to film the very first episode of It's Academic.
Good evening and welcome to It's Academic, the weekly program on which
Little did they know that over the course of the next 65 years, thousands of high school students would follow them onto the set and into broadcast history.
I think what has kept It's Academic on the air for so long, you had strong support from the schools, and we've had a strong community support.
There aren't a ton of outlet to like be competitive in an academic setting.
It teaches composure, knowledge, wisdom.
And it's like an engaging, fun quiz show, but it also teaches you so much about the world in so many different facets.
Today, It's Academic is celebrating 65 years and is the world's longest-running TV quiz show. Thank you, students, schools, viewers, and fans. And remember, it's academic.
All right, everybody, time for the Picture Perfect round. I think you all know how this works. Questions worth 20 points up or down. Once again, the first team to buzz in gets to answer. Teams? Here's a sharp fact. Some armadillos have 100 teeth that lack both roots and what hard E-initialed substance? Yes, Westfield.
Enamel.
You're right. These coordinates mark the peak of what mountain? South America's highest. Yup, Whisk.
Aconcagua.
You've got it. This fanciful scene of a young George Washington chopping down a cherry tree is by what artist better known for his painting, American Gothic? Anybody? The answer is Grant Wood. What is the arithmetic mean of 45 and 97? Yep, Herndon.
71.
71 is right. Although the dodo bird has been extinct since the 1680s, a dodo appears and even speaks in what Lewis Carroll book published in 1860. Yes, Westfield. Answer?
Alice in Wonderland.
It is Alice in Wonderland. Can anyone remember when times were not hard? This question was raised by what 19th century American essayist and poet who wrote the Concord Hymn? You'll know it when I say it. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The red square here covers what element that's one of the hardest and most corrosion-resistant of all metals. Its atomic number is 77 and symbol is IR. Yep, Herndon.
Iridium?
Iridium is right. Here, Claude Monet painted the arrival of a train from what French region where decades later the Allies made a D-Day landing? Herndon.
Normandy.
You are right, and that does it for Picture Perfect. Let's recap those scores. Herndon, home of the Fighting Hornets, 310 points. Washington International School, home of the Red Devils, 230. And Westfield, home of the Bulldogs, 260 points. Nice job. All right, now we get to meet the coaches, but first I have a question for you guys at home. What did Babe Ruth wear beneath his baseball cap? You think about that for a minute and we'll have the answer after we meet the coaches. And we begin with Herndon. Peter, tell us who's with you today.
We got Miss Spies. She works in the history department, and she's really fun to train with in the trivia club. And overall, she brings a lot of energy. She brings a lot of hype. Just really glad to have her as one of our coaches.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Woo! Over to Whisk. Julia, who's with you today?
We have our wonderful coach and history teacher, Miss Brennan.
And what makes her such a great coach?
She's just, yeah, I don't know. She's just amazing.
All that.
Yeah, everything.
Really good to have you. And over to Westfield. Ellie, who's with you?
We have our coach and history teacher, Mr. Baranowski, and then we have our alternate, Arsena.
Awesome. And what makes them great?
Smart. They're smart individuals, I will tell you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, everybody. And now I've got the answer to that question about Babe Ruth and what he had underneath his baseball cap. He would keep a cold cabbage leaf beneath his cap, and then every few innings he would change it out just so he could keep cool. Okay, now it's time for the packet round. You guys know how this works. There are 3 packets. Herndon, you're going to go first, and Washington International School, you're going to choose which packet they answer questions from.
The second one.
Second one. All right, and if you get all the questions right, there is a
25-point bonus.
Boom. Here we go. The Dixie National Forest is not in the South, but in what western state where the Mormons settled?
Utah.
You've got it. What African-American woman stood up for civil rights by refusing to give up her seat on a bus, inspiring the Montgomery bus boycott of 1955?
Rosa Parks.
Yes. Recent discoveries of substantial amounts of methane gas venting into the atmosphere raises the possibility that life once existed on what planet fourth from the sun?
Mars.
Yeah, here's your science question. Reflection, refraction, dispersion. If you look at a rowboat's oar in water, the oar will appear bent to the water's surface as a result of which of these phenomena?
Refraction.
Correct. Women athletes were excluded from track and field events until 1928, when the Summer Olympics were held in what largest city in the Netherlands?
Amsterdam.
Yeah. The Leonard Bernstein musical West Side Story was based on what romantic Shakespeare tragedy about two star-crossed lovers?
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, that's right. Here's your math question. Which number is the smallest of these three?
0.3 squared.
You've got it. Several residents of the White House claim to have seen the ghost of what ninth president who apparently decided to stick around after dying only 1 month into his term?
William Henry Harrison.
Oh, yeah, Herndon, Fighting Hornets, 25-point bonus. Way to go. And 495 points. All right, Whisk, you're up. Westfield, packet 1 or packet 3?
Let's give him 1.
Ooh, let's give him 1. I like that. Here you go. Okay. What French heroine died before her 20th birthday when she was burned at the stake during the Hundreds Year War?
Joan of Arc.
You're right. In William Faulkner's story, The Bear, the quarry is pursued by a dog with what name that identifies the proverbial king of beasts? The answer is lion. A worldwide increase in the production of auto batteries has resulted in higher prices for what heavy metallic element with the symbol PB?
Lead.
Yeah. Here's your science question. Evaporation, surface tension, colloidal float. The meniscus effect, referring to the curved surface of a liquid in a cylinder, is caused by which of these?
Surface tension?
Yeah, you're right. The fighting in the American Revolution finally came to an end in 1781 when General Cornwallis surrendered at what Virginia site?
Yorktown?
Yorktown it is. In 2010, a collector paid over $11,000 for a dog collar worn by a pooch that belonged to what English author of David Copperfield?
Charles Dickens.
Yes. Here's your math question. Find the value of this expression when x equals 2. Answer?
10.
Yes, it's 10. The Teapot Dome scandal proved to be more than a tempest in a teapot during the administration of what 29th president?
Harding?
Yeah, nicely done, Washington International School. 370 points. And now, because you wanted it, packet number 3. Had she not been so beautiful, what legendary Greek woman might not have been kidnapped by Paris and carried off to Troy?
Helena.
Yeah. In an effort to hammer out a response to grievances, members of the First Continental Congress met at Carpenter's Hall in what Pennsylvania city?
Philadelphia.
That's it. In 1843, a party of explorers toured the Great Salt Lake in a boat made of what latex-derived substance that Charles Goodyear had vulcanized?
Rubber.
Yes, it was. Here's your science question. Sonic boom, Tyndall effect, seismic vibration. Which of these terms refers to the shock wave of compressed air caused by an aircraft traveling faster than the speed of sound?
The first one.
Yep, sonic boom. Goats that produce milk containing a special protein to attack disease have now been bred in what Middle Eastern country whose capital is Tehran?
Iran.
Yes, it is. Senegalese leader Leopold Senghor was the first African elected to the French Literary Academy because of his skill in what style of writing that uses iambic pentameter?
Poetry.
Poetry's right. Here's your math question. If each of the two base angles equals 30 degrees, what's the size of the vertex angle in degrees?
120.
120 it is. Gideon Pillow did not have a soft job as a military aide to what future 12th president, a general known as Old Rough and Ready?
Zachary Taylor.
Zachary Taylor, and that gives you a 25-point bonus and 445 points, Westfield. Great job. It's a pretty close game, and the grab bag is next. See you in a minute.
Did you know that the longest recorded flight of a chicken is 13 seconds? Wild chickens, which haven't been bred for additional breast meat, can fly longer because they're smaller and lighter. Now you know.
All right, it is time for the grab bag round. Questions are worth 20 points up or down. Once again, first team to buzz in gets to answer. Here we go. Swahili draws many kinds of words from what language in which the Holy Quran was originally, Westfield?
Arabic?
Yes. A beaver dam long enough to be seen from space has been spotted in what Canadian province whose name begins and ends with a letter A? Yes, Herndon.
Alberta.
Alberta is right. California's official state sport is what activity requiring a board and ocean waves, Westfield?
Surfing?
Surfing, yes. On your screens. Part eagle and part lion, the monsters seen here were given what G initialed, Westfield?
Griffin?
Griffin is right. Though only 2 inches long, the golden poison frog is one of the most toxic creatures on Earth and belongs to what class of, Westfield? Answer?
Amphibian?
Yeah. What is 250% of 50? Yes, Herndon.
125.
You've got it. Because all the papers of French explorer Louis Joliet were swept overboard, we learned about his work from the records of what Jesuit priest who accompanied him. Yes, Westfield.
St. Lawrence?
No, Marquette. On your screens, the pig-headed peasants. Not popular in rural areas, this is the title of an opera by what 19th century composer, better known for his New World Symphony? Yes, Whisk.
Dvorak.
You've got that one. During the First World War, philosopher Bertrand Russell shared his London apartment with what American-born poet who later wrote The Wasteland? The answer is T.S. Eliot. Although it has now shrunk due to drought, when full, what lake formed by the Hoover Dam measured? Yes, Westfield. Answer 3, 2.
Lake Mead.
Lake Mead, yes. Choice. What is the combined resistance of two 20-ohm resistors connected in parallel? 1,000, 100, or 10 ohms? Anybody? It is 10 ohms on your screens again. Chairs like this are common in what West African country with capitals at Abidjan and Yamoussoukro? Yup, Herndon.
Nigeria?
No, Cote d'Ivoire. The island of Barbados includes on its flag what sort of three-pronged spear, Westfield?
Trident?
Correct. 60% of what number is equal to 150? Yes, Herndon.
250.
You're the math guy, yeah. Because of his interest in lepidopterology, Russian author Vladimir Nabokov has one variety of what kind of insect named for him? It is butterfly on your screens. Union General William Sherman had as his middle name the name of what Shawnee? Westfield.
Tecumseh?
Tecumseh's right. William the Conqueror's daughter was supposedly once engaged, and that does it. That's the end of the game. We're going to have those scores in just 1 minute, so stay where you are. I'm Hillary Howard, host of It's Academic, and I've got a question for you. What's a new and easy way to watch all of your favorite PBS and WETA shows? The answer is WETA Plus. That's right. WETA Plus is a free and easy-to-use streaming service created specifically for DC area viewers like you. With WETA Plus, you can watch local shows like It's Academic or PBS hits like Masterpiece, wherever and wherever you want, on your TV or on the go. WETA Plus is free and available to download on all major streaming devices and smart TVs. For more information, go to weta.org/WETA Plus. The scores are now official. We begin with Washington International School from Washington, D.C., home of the Red Devils. Eileen Julia Kieran, 390 points. Girl power. That's all I have to say. I love a team with all women. Sorry, guys. I mean, no offense. No offense. Herndon, I'm so sorry about that. Herndon from Herndon, Virginia in Fairfax County. Abdul Peter Matthew, 535 points, winning that 25-point bonus. You guys almost won, except Westfield, home of the Bulldogs in Westfield in Chantilly, Virginia. Zach, Ellie, and Justin, 565 points, winning that 25-point bonus. Yeah, guys. That does it for us. I'm Hillary Howard. So glad you were with us. And remember, everybody, it's academic. Bye-bye.
Support for It's Academic has been provided by the following: George Mason University. All together different.
Call us different.
Different in where we come from,
Where we're going,
and how we think.
but the same in our dreams for tomorrow.
Driven by the pull of possibility.
To inspire,
To think fearlessly. To protect and to heal the planet. We know the world will change.
together.
We will be the ones to change it.
Call Mason different. All
Together different.